If you don't know, the thing to do is not to get scared, but to learn. She did not know the nature of her loneliness. The only words that named it were, "This is not the world I expected." Learn to value yourself, which means, fight for your happiness. You have been the one encounter in my life that can never be repeated. I could die for you, but I couldn't and wouldn't live for you. If it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. Love is blind, sex is impervious to reason and mocks the power of all philosophers. I never found beauty in longing for the impossible and never found the possible to be beyond my reach. Never think of pain or danger or enemies a moment longer than is necessary to fight them. A creative man is motivated by the desire to achieve, not by the desire to beat others. The purpose of morality is to teach you, not to suffer and die, but to enjoy yourself and live. I swear by my life and my love of it that I will never live for the sake of another man, nor ask another man to live for mine. I worship individuals for their highest possibilities as individuals, and I loathe humanity for its failure to live up to these possibilities. The smallest minority on earth is the individual. Those who deny individual rights cannot claim to be defenders of minorities. Integrity is the ability to stand by an idea. The hardest thing to explain is the glaringly evident which everybody has decided not to see. Live and act within the limit of your knowledge and keep expanding it to the limit of your life. The man who does not value himself cannot value anything or anyone. Run for your life from any man who tells you that money is evil. That sentence is the leper's bell of an approaching looter. To sell your soul is the easiest thing in the world. That's what everybody does every hour of his life. There is no such thing as a lousy job, only lousy men who don't care to do it. My happiness is not the means to any end, it is its own goal, it is its own purpose. He is free to evade reality, he is free to unfocus his mind and stumble blindly down any road he pleases, but not free to avoid the abyss he refuses to see. Joy is the goal of existence, and joy is not to be stumbled upon, but to be achieved, and the act of treason is to let its vision drown in the swamp of the moment's torture. If one's actions are honest, one does not need the predated confidence of others. The truth is not for all men but only for those who seek it. Patience is always rewarded and romance is always round the corner. Let me give you a tip on a clue to men's characters. The man who damns money has obtained it dishonorably. The man who respects it has earned it. Money is only a tool, it will take you wherever you wish, but it will not replace you as the driver. Ask yourself whether the dream of heaven and greatness should be left waiting for us in our graves or whether it should be ours here and now and on this earth. It is not death that we wish to avoid, but life that we wish to live. Never ask people about your work. Men who reject the responsibility of thought and reason can only exist as parasites on the thinking of others. The measure of hell you're able to endure is the measure of your love. One loses everything when one loses one's sense of humor. Power lust is a weed that grows only in the vacant lots of an abandoned mind. Within the extent of your knowledge you are right. Self-respect is something that can't be killed. The worst thing is to kill a man's pretense at it. Art is a selective recreation of reality according to an artist's metaphysical value judgments. I don't wish to be the symbol of anything, I'm only myself. She thought how strange it would be if she ever said hello to him. One did not greet oneself each morning. Guilt is a rope that wears thin. Is it advisable to spread out all the conveniences of culture before people to whom a few steps up a stair to a library is a sufficient deterrent from reading? It is not advisable to venture unsolicited opinions. You should spare yourself the embarrassing discovery of their exact value to your listener. In a free society, one does not have to deal with those who are irrational, one is free to avoid them. Civilization is the process of setting man free from men. It was the greatest sensation of existence, not to trust but to know. There are two sides to every issue. One side is right and the other is wrong, but the middle is always evil. A viler evil than to murder a man is to sell him suicide as an act of virtue. No speech is ever considered, but only the speaker. It's so much easier to pass judgment on a man than on an idea. Man is the only living species that has the power to act as his own destroyer, and that is the way he has acted through most of his history. Achieving life is not the equivalent of avoiding death. The more you learn, the more you know that you know nothing. The worst guilt is to accept an unearned guilt. A man's ego is the fountainhead of human progress. An approachable woman can be identified by two things: stupidity and gullibility. If one doesn't respect oneself, one can have neither love nor respect for others. Worry is a waste of emotional reserve.